Hello. So we're going to talk about Havoc, Demon Hunter, and the new 9.1.5 changes. The main change is going to be for the raid build. So for the pure single target raid build, you can see the soulbind and the conduits I'm using here. You don't want to go the extra potencies because you want Dauntless Duelist. You basically do 3% damage for the whole fight if it's a pure single target, which is just amazing. And so yeah, if you want to pause this and you can check the conduits I'm using. And I will go on to the legendary. So if you're running Venthyr, there's really only one legendary option, which is Agony Gaze, which I think I've put on legs. Crit haste on the legs. Just obviously, if you're running Venthyr, most of the time you're going to just want to use this legendary. It just helps with your Sinful Brand. And there's a few tricks with how to run this in a raid that make it work. So the first thing you have to make sure you're not doing, because this is a single target fight, if you meta, it will refresh your brand and it will spread it. But if you're only on a single target, you don't want to do that, because if you've extended your brand with I-Beam and you meta, it will say you've extended your brand up to 20 seconds or something. If you meta, it will reduce it down to 8 seconds. So if you're ever metering, you're only ever going to meta when you've got brand up and you've extended with the first I-Beam. So you reset I-Beam and you go again. So you're never going to meta next to the boss. So the trick with that is you want to Fel Rush away, meta, and then Fel Rush back in. That's the first trick. The other trick is when you have brand up and you've I-Beam to extend, you want to do nothing. So you can tell I'm a Demon Hunter. I can't stay still. You don't want to do anything but Chaos Strike as much as possible, because the Chaos Strike has a 40% chance to lower the cooldown of I-Beam. Where is Chaos Strike on here? I'm blind. There it is. I am blind. 40% chance to refund 20 Fury. When that happens, it also lowers cooldown of I-Beam. So, talent build for this. Blind Fury, Insatiable Hunger, 100%. This one, there's going to be a lot of debate with this. I don't like Glaive Tempest because with this build, the whole point is to reset or lower the cooldown of I-Beam, so you can hopefully increase your brand duration on the enemy before it drops off. So Glaive Tempest, although it's uncapped now and is really good damage, it will mess up your timings of getting I-Beam off cooldown so you can extend your brand. So there might be certain situations where that's taken, but honestly, don't take it. It's not going to be better. Maybe in some AoE, Mythic Plus situations or something like that. But Unbound Chaos is just easy to use. You're using Fel Rush. It just passively gives you tons of damage. I honestly wouldn't bother with Glaive Tempest in a single target situation. This one's up to you. Soul Rending does give better survivability, but I really like Netherwalk. It's not technically an immunity, but it allows you to pull off some cool things. And if you're in an oh shit, I'm going to die moment, you can usually press that and get somewhere safe, and then you're all good. So honestly, I won't use anything but that. I just love it too much. Cycle of Hatred, because we're running Demonic build. Chaos Strike refunds Fury, also reduces the cooldown of I-Beam by 3 seconds. So there you go. That's the 40% chance to proc I was talking about earlier. Basically, whenever it procs, it also reduces the I-Beam by 3 seconds, which is why you don't really want to run Glaive Tempest, because that takes away a global during your brand, and you don't want to do that. This one's up to you. In raids, probably take Master Glaive, if you're ever away from the target. Doesn't really matter too much. The other two don't really have any use in raids, really, apart from AoE fights, but you're not going to be running this build if you're doing an AoE boss, so it doesn't really matter. And then obviously Demonic. Yeah. I've played around with Momentum, especially in Mythic Plus, with this kind of build, but Demonic for raids, 100%, because again, you want I-Beam and all that stuff, so it's great. Let's go on to rotation and how you open up with this. So let me go find, where's the raid? I'm new to Venthyr, guys, so I think it's over here, right? Raiding, yeah, raiding them. Don't like how close it is, though. You want a just pure single target thing, but it's not going to work. So you open up, let me just remember this. Immolation Aura, get some Fury. Meta away. I see how my brand is on 22 seconds. Just bump your Chaos Strikes, apparently. Nearly got I-Beam off again. I've got Unbound, so I'm going to use that. And I-Beam, extend the brand up to another 20 seconds. And you can imagine with the set bonuses, you'd be running the crits. So you'd be running the frost, sorry. The Frost Domination Shards build, that's what you'd be running on this. Oh, I don't think I'll get enough procs to reset this one. But it's okay, because guess what? Brand has just run out, and it's up again. So I'm going to quickly get enough Fury to I-Beam, put the Brand on, I-Beam to extend it up to 16, and go again. And you can see without the Domination Shard bonus and everything, without raid buffs, without Hero, sustaining 10k on a target enemy, I might get a reset here. No, I didn't have enough Fury. Didn't have enough Fury for IB, so I nearly got a reset. So there is a lot of RNG with this build. You have to be lucky and proc your Cure Strike chances to reduce the cooldown of I-Beam. That's like a big part of this. But when you have raid buffs, you get a PI, you've got Hero, anything like that. The other thing of note is the, let me stop on this for a second, is this Thrill Seeker. So you'll see it go up. Like I've got 9 stacks right now. Eventually it'll get to 40 stacks and it'll give you 20% haste for 10 seconds. This helps a lot with dumping your Chaos Strikes. So that if you can see yourself about to go into this and your Sin is just about to come up, it's like a brilliant synchronization. I wouldn't necessarily hold cooldowns for it, but if it happens, it's great. The other thing I've noticed when that ends, the last slot here, when it ends, you have a chance to get crit or verse. Just pray for crit, especially in raids with the Frost build. If you get 20% crit when that runs out, you just have a load of haste, then you go into crit. Like that's, you know, perfect world. If everything lines up for you, that's exactly what you want to have happen. But yeah, so is there anything I've missed there? So yeah, again, I've said you want to be using the Frost set. I'm in my Mythic Plus stuff here. The Frost set is basically the Frost Domination Shards. It's just too good in single target situations, and it synergizes so well with the Venthyr and the Simple Brand and everything else. So that's what you'll be running in pure single target. I'm going to pause here while I go over and swap to Knifey, and I'll show you the raid build for any fight that has a chance to cleave. I wouldn't recommend Venthyr and Mythic Plus at all. I've tried out multiple builds. It just doesn't compete with Crane's First Strike Momentum build. The only chance you have of it competing is if you do insanely big pulls, because if you spread your Sinful Brand with meta onto a massive pull and it lives long enough, you will destroy the meters. But unless you're doing MDI pulls, it's not going to happen. So for the most part, you're not going to run it. It's definitely like, you can still run it if you prefer to play this. You can do well more than enough DPS. We did the 20 Sanguine Depths trying out a build. Easily did like, what was it, 11k or something, which is, you know, not amazing, but it's enough to get by. So you can run this in Mythic Plus. It's just not optimal. So if you only want to play Venthyr, it's, you know, viable, but it's not the best. So yeah, we'll jump over to Knifey and we'll go over the raid build there. Okay guys, we're back at Knifey now. So this is the build for let me go to the right one. There we go. This is the build for raiding whenever there's an AoE and chance to proc First Strike. So this will be fights like Remnant and Azul, Soulbinder, Painsmith maybe, Kel'Thuzad. Fights like that where there's a chance of getting First Strike procs from new ads spawning. Sylvanas as well. So there's 2 changes you'll do. So on fights where it's predominantly, you know, mainly single target, you obviously take this. You could on maybe Remnant and Soul Render go with a Natural Malice. I don't think it's going to be like crazy difference. I would definitely on like Sylvanas fights where there are phases where it's just Sylvanas, like last phase. I would go with Relentless Onslaught. Unless you can keep good uptime with this with big packs of ads. Like I said, Soul Render is a good one for it. But, you know, otherwise, just go with this build. The reason you run this in raids, because a lot of people think this is a Mythic Plus build. Well, it's because First Strike is amazing. This is why Venthyr, all the changes and everything, still make this the better build for Mythic Plus, because it's just so good. 25% extra crit for 5 seconds. Your momentum window is 5 seconds. So it means during your damage output phase that you play momentum for, you have 25% crit if you have a chance to proc First Strike, which you do in Mythic Plus, which is why you do it. And you also do in raids that have ads that let you cleave. Even if it means stopping for a second, throwing a glaive over to an ad you haven't hit on Kel'Thuzad, maybe an ad just spawned, you could throw a glaive over there, then go into momentum on the boss or whatever ads you're supposed to be focusing, which you should be only focusing ads in that, but anyway. So it's just too good, okay? It's really good. And the other reason, I mean, it's just so many ways you can use it. For instance, on the opener, this might change the opener a little bit because you need to make sure you hunt during first strike because it's, you know, if you crit with hunt, you're insane. So the opener changes depending on if you have hero or if you're fast enough. So if you're fast enough to get your normal opener in and hunt and get it in the first strike window, then you're fine. If you have hero, that makes it a lot easier to pull off. If you don't, you want to make sure you're hunting earlier. So let's go to a test dummy and try that out. Let me put the right gear on for this as well. For this build, you can use the Frost set or the old-fashioned Unholy set. I think it doesn't really matter. They're both very good. I'm personally probably going to... Like, if I'm... I don't know. I'm probably going to stick with the Frost set because I can't be bothered changing. In between fights, I'm lazy. But they're both more than viable. Where's the rating? There it is, rating dummy there. So the talent build for this is Momentum. So it's Foul Blade, Demon Blades, Unbound Chaos. Netherwalk you can choose, but I love Netherwalk as I said earlier, so I always use that. Essence Break, Momentum. In raids, take a Master of Glaive. In dungeons, I prefer Foul Eruption for the extra stun, but you could go for the Chaos Nova, no Fury cost. They're both good options, but yeah, for raids, just take Master of Glaive probably. So yeah, that's the build I'm running. The legendary for this is 100% Burning Wound. It's just too good. It's your main single target's one. Well, let's go for the opener. Let's see if I can remember what I'm doing now. So the way I do this is Foul Blade in. I'll put a text string across the top again. So yeah, I wasn't quick enough there to get the hunt in. So if you have hero on opener, you can do it no problem. You can't pull it off if you're super speedy. So you can see on a single target, I'm actually doing 10k overall, like sustained right now, which is, you know, pretty good. If you put this into an area situation where you're proccing for a strike quite often and you're also cleaving with Blade Dance that's now uncapped as well, it's just amazing on a cleave fight. And this is also why it's the best in Mythic Plus. So for Mythic Plus, the only thing you will change... I'm going to go back to the Soulbind to show you. Boom. I miss my soul shape when I'm not knife by the way. Oh, I miss it so much. So in Mythic Plus, you'd swap out Relentless Onslaught for a Natural Malice. That's about it, really. That's all you change in Mythic Plus situations. With legendaries, still stick with Burning Wound. However, if you're doing big pull dungeons, so maybe Mists and stuff like that, and higher keys and big pulls, Fortified Weeks, you could take Everburn, which is the Knife legendary. The playstyle with that is a little bit different. When you open up on a Mythic Plus pack like normal, you want to delay your hunt until your Immolation Aura is nearly running out. And hunt, that'll refresh Immolation Aura. And it'll also refresh the Unbound Chaos buff, so you can Foul Rush and get an extra Foul Rush. So basically, if you're on a pack, you can Immolate Aura, Unbound Chaos, Foul Rush. Late hunt, so you refresh Immolation Aura. You have Unbound Chaos, Foul Rush again. And then before the pack ends, you probably got Immolation Aura back up again. And you can Foul Rush. So you get like 3 Unbound Chaoses on a pack if you have Hunt available, and it's insane. Another thing a lot of people, I think, forget is that when Immolation Aura damage ticks up, it does more damage. Like the longer it's available, the Immolation Aura damage increased by 20% each time it deals damage. So if you refresh it with Hunt and then refresh it again with Immolation Aura itself, at that point it's going to be doing ridiculous damage. And for the last 5 seconds of Immolation Aura before it ticks off, because you can't refresh it anymore, you need to make sure you Foul Rush and stay within range of all the adds, because then you have momentum giving you the extra damage output from Immolation Aura being buffed by being, constantly refreshed. And you're going to, without doing anything, you're going to do crazy damage on big packs of ads. The only other thing you could do with the new changes to the Blade Dance conduit is you could maybe work that in somewhere in a Mythic Plus situation. I don't know where you're going to use it though, because you can't sacrifice First Strike to take an extra potency to use Dancing with Fate. So there might be a build like I've been testing nothing but Venthyr lately, but I need to try and maybe find a way of figuring out where you could use that conduit. I've tried a load of demonic builds in Venthyr with that conduit, and although it is good, it's not as good as this build, which is a bit sad. I was kind of hoping to play something new and different, but for the next week or two, I'm going to be doing nothing but experimenting in keys to try and find maybe a new build that works better. But it looks like it's the same. If you want more information like on this build, because I haven't really talked too much about Mythic Plus in this video, if you check my last video about Havoc guide, nothing's changed in the Mythic Plus situation there. If anybody has any more questions though, I stream every day on Twitch, so come and hang out, ask me any questions you need, answers to, and I'll do my best. And if you want to watch me experiment, and maybe in a couple of weeks or a couple of days, I might find a new change and I'll make a new video and keep you all up to date with what's happening. But yeah, for now, this is how I think it's going to work. And if there are any cool changes, like I said, in Mythic Plus as well, Glaive Tempest has got to play if you're running a demonic build here. But I've tried it, and Glaive Tempest does do a lot of damage when you look at the overall. But at the same time, it's messing up I-beam resets and stuff like that, so I personally don't like it. But I'm going to be trying a few more builds. I want to try a build with momentum with Cycle of Hatred and demonic. Not demonic, sorry. Cycle of Hatred. I don't know. There's going to be loads of builds, right? I'm talking gibberish now, so come hang out on stream. We'll experiment together, and if any changes or anything crops up new, I will update you with the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.